Hey, and welcome again to The Rich Rabbit. Today we'll be talking about the man of the hour. That's right, a man that needs no introduction. We're talking about Khabib Nurmagomedov. First thing first, let's get the pronunciation of his name right. Most people, even some folks at the UFC, have kept on pronouncing his name wrong. It's not Khabib or Khabib or even Kebab, it's simply Khabib. As for the last name, well, that's a tough one, is it? Well, not really if you know how to pronounce. It's not Nurmagomedov, don't go by how it's written, it's Nurmagomedov. Oh, don't believe me? Well, then why don't we ask the guy himself to set the record straight?
Khabib Abdulmanapovich Nurmagomedov. This is my, correctly.
See? What did I tell you? With that out of the way, let's dive straight into it. Khabib has built up a vast net worth as arguably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, UFC star in the world. He is undefeated in 29 professional fights, following his recent victory over Justin Gaethje. Back in 2018, Nurmagomedov earned a guaranteed purse of $2 million from the UFC 229 grudge match with Conor McGregor. He then went on to collect $6 million for his win over Dustin Poirier in his last Octagon outing in 2019. The Russian reportedly earned the same purse for the clash with Gaethje. Wealthy Gorilla places Nurmagomedov's net worth at $30 million. However, the fighter's father, Abdulmanap, previously revealed his son's wealth was closer to $100 million. Long before Khabib stepped foot into a UFC octagon or began to amass his incredible undefeated record, rumors about his street fighting past began to spread like wildfire. Stories of the child from war-torn Dagestan who wrestled bears and took on foes twice his size were quickly dismissed as folk tales. But separating fact from fiction about the UFC lightweight champion is perhaps easier than it seems. Quite simply, most of the legendary stories are true. On the 3rd of July 2020, Khabib's father, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, passed away. His father had heart complications due to COVID-19 in March and unfortunately suffered a stroke. He was later treated in hospital through induced coma and surgery. But even after waking, he suffered severe illness. He died at the age of 57. Abdulmanap was not only Khabib's beloved father, but his MMA coach since a very young age. He was an army veteran in Dagestan who trained in judo and sambo. He was also a decorated athlete who wrestled since a young age. Neither Abdulmanap nor Khabib have openly talked about their personal lives. Nevertheless, Khabib often cites his father as one of the greatest figures of support in his personal and professional life. He trained Khabib in wrestling since he was 8 years old and continued to teach him different martial arts techniques and disciplines due to his passion. In fact, Abdulmanap even pushed Khabib to wrestle with bears in his youth. A fierce and dark rivalry between Conor McGregor and the Nurmagomedovs took place both during and before their match. However, the Nurmagomedovs forgave him since. Abdulmanap even invited McGregor to Dagestan, quoting, "He must show mercy in action, not in words." Those are surely wise words indeed. In September 2008, Khabib made his debut in MMA. Within a month, he secured 4 wins, of which 3 were in a day. The following month, he won the inaugural Atrium Cup Tournament Championship at Moscow. Eventually, his impressive record of 16 wins and no losses in the matches caught the attention of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. In 2011, he signed a 6-fight agreement with the UFC and he entered in the lightweight division. His debut match was against Kamal Shaloris in early 2012. He won the match in the 3rd round. Other artists whom he has encountered and defeated as part of his UFC matches are Gleison Tibau, Thiago Tavares, Rafael dos Anjos, Pat Healy, and Abel Trujillo, among others. During his match against Trujillo in 2013, he set a new record of 21 successful takedowns from 27 attempts. Between September 2014 and 15, he had to cancel several matches due to injuries and ill health. He was affected due to knee and other injuries. In 2016, he made a comeback with a win at a bout against newcomer Daryl Horcher at the UFC. In November that year, he fought against Michael Johnson and won in the third round with a submission from the opponent. In 2017, he was scheduled to fight Tony Ferguson for the interim lightweight championship. However, he fell ill due to some complications that arose from the weight cut process, and the round had to be cancelled. Nurmagomedov and Edson Barboza faced each other at UFC 219 on 30th of December 2017. Nurmagomedov dominated his opponent in all 3 rounds of the fight and went on to win by unanimous decision, thereby earning his first performance of the night bonus. Khabib got married in 2013. He has not revealed the name of his wife. Khabib has 2 children, a daughter who was born in 2015 and a son who was born in 2017. Khabib and his father Abdulmanap and other Dagestani fighters such as Islam Makhachev have openly expressed their proud faith in Islam. Khabib expressed the impact Ramadan has on his training and the balance he maintains with his faith and with his professional career. He expressed that his faith always superseded his career. As well as praying the daily prayers, Khabib mentions his closeness to his friends and family. He says the only difference in his life now to what it was before UFC is that he has become a champion. Dagestan is a federal republic of Russia, located in North Caucasus region. It is north of Azerbaijan and sits on the Caspian Sea. Most of us likely never heard of it until the new wave of Russian fighters like Khabib. Dagestan is now known around the world as the land of warriors, as the region has a high amount of young and disciplined fighters who are extremely skilled. It is also known for having nurtured several fighting champions or champion-level athletes. Perhaps the Republic's history is to thank for the high-level fighters it produces. Dagestan has withstood many conquests, battles, and cultural clashes. Today, kids as young as 5 are training in MMA Sambo and wrestling. Khabib started when he was only 8. Just imagine the growth potential for the next generation of fighters. Pretty crazy, right? Now, Khabib isn't one of those athletes who like to post pictures with flashy vehicles, but he's known to have a good number of cars. Starting with AutoWaz's compact model Lada Priora, Khabib went on to own a few sporty vehicles. Here is the list of Nurmagomedov's cars. Lada Priora, a compact and affordable option for many, was the first car that he purchased. However, he owned it for only a few months and sold it to fund his MMA career. This really seems to have paid off when considering the position he is in right now. His first car allowed him to financially foster his career, but soon afterwards, Khabib was able to afford a Mercedes. He went with W124 300E as his second car. Khabib is known to be an admirer of Mercedes and was spotted with a few of its cars. Unfortunately for Khabib, an accident destroyed the car. Khabib also drove the Ferrari California car a few times. However, reports are unclear if he owns the car or rents it to ride. In either case, the 2-door sports car makes a stylish drive. From selling a compact car to finance his career, to becoming big enough to earn a number of luxury cars, Khabib has come a long way. He bought a couple of BMW 6 Series after his career took off. The fighter has spent a huge amount of money on buying these cars, although his exact models are unknown. A Russian billionaire businessman gifted Khabib a sporting car from a company he very much admires. The S-Class model from the German car manufacturers comes with a V8 twin turbocharged engine. The Russian fighter gave it to a friend who apparently crashed it into a pole. Fortunately, no major injuries occurred in the accident. Thank God for that. Khabib's latest addition to his car garage is the Toyota Land Cruiser J200. The Land Cruiser is one of Toyota's most popular models, and the off-road SUV is their longest-running series. Khabib owning it might certainly have made it a little more popular. Now this might surprise you, but the home of perhaps the most famous Russian fighter looks no different to the several dozen neighboring ones, and exactly the same as it did many years ago before the frenzy of UFC fame. No fancy interiors or high fences at all. Nurmagomedov was born in the high mountain Dagestani village of Sildi. It is located near the border with the Chechen Republic. The road leading to the village winds through rivers and mountain ranges. The nearest urban center is around 40 kilometers away. The house of Khabib Nurmagomedov is located on, you won't believe it, Nurmagomedov Street. However, it was not named after the UFC fighter but his uncle, who was a Sambo world champion in the 1990s. Khabib's house is barely any different than any other in the village. Khabib now lives predominantly in 2 cities and 2 countries. In the capital of Russia's Dagestan, Makhachkala, where he has a wife and children, and in San Jose, California, where he trains at the American Kickboxing Academy. Khabib is equally known for his humbleness as his fighting. As for now, there is no confirmation whether he will come back to make his record 30-0. But one thing's for certain, he will always be remembered as one of the greatest fighters of all time. If you like our videos, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you get notified whenever we upload our new videos. Your valuable suggestions are very important to us, so please post them in the comment section. I'll see you in the next one.